Alright, what is going on everyone? I'm going to answer a huge question when it comes to strength and hypertrophy, which is how much volume do you need per week to grow muscle, right? And I'm not going to give the same focus of answer everyone does. I'm going to approach this in a different way. Alright, so most YouTube videos you see regarding how much volume / sets per week you need for muscle growth approach this through research, and that's amazing. I approach everything through research. However, I think there's another part of the equation which is not only experience of people in general, but your experience, and I'm going to get into this a little bit further. The research until a few years ago was around 10 to 20 sets, so between this range, this probably optimize your muscle growth. However, more research has come in the recent years that indicates that a higher muscle volume can be even more beneficial for hypertrophy. And we came to the conclusion that it's more like from 5 to 35 sets per week. And if I gave this recommendation to you, you're going to tell me to fuck off, because I mean it's true, it's just too much of a wide range to take any action through that. So I'm going to invite you to look at a couple things, right? First thing is going to be your response, right? So let's say week 1 we start with something like focusing on legs, for instance, right? So maybe you start with a couple of sets of squats one day and a couple of sets of split squats the other day, right? So let's say Monday and Thursday, better, right? So 3 and 3, right? And let's say with those 6 sets per week, or 3 sets of squats and 3 sets of Bulgarian split squats, you're doing amazing progress. Your quads are growing, your strength is going up, you're feeling good, you're not feeling beat up every time you go into the gym. But someone comes and tells you, hey, you know that there's a study that says that 35 sets per week is superior for hypertrophy, and you start doing 35 sets, or maybe 30, or maybe 25, and that's a huge increase in volume. You're probably going to be fatigued, you're probably going to be sore a lot, you're probably going to have your knees aching a lot, and that's not optimal for you. And what I'm trying to get at here is that you have to follow your individual responses, right? So if you see an increase in weight and like your performance is trending up from week to week, you're probably in the good volume range, right? You're probably doing enough work for you to elicit hypertrophy. In the other hand, if you're feeling fresh, but your lifts are not increasing, right? You're maybe stuck in your squat, your split squat is not increasing, you just feel that you cannot add any reps or weight, then you probably need more volume. You probably aren't doing enough work for you to stimulate hypertrophy. On the other hand, you might be feeling drained, you might be aching your body, your knees might be aching, your muscles might feel under recovered, you feel like garbage every time you step into the gym. That's an indication you need to lower your volume, right? So it doesn't matter where in the spectrum you land. Probably the more advanced you are, you're going to land more in the higher volume, and the more beginner you are, you're going to lie in the lower volume, because you're not just able to handle that much volume. So I would say that just try to make the most increases you can in the lower volume, so then you have room to grow if you want to increase more volume, If you start with 25 sets a week and maybe you're feeling okay with that, increasing from that is going to be hard. If you start with 10 sets a week or even 5 sets a week, you can increase with that a lot easier, And besides, you can have more recovery for the other movements. Okay, now into the more practical recommendations of what you can do when you step in the gym. If you're more of a beginner, I would recommend for you to start between 3 to 6 sets a week. Just that, I know, it's not much. Splitting between 2 days, right? So one day you come in, you do 2 to 3 sets. The other day you come in, you do 2 to 3 sets, right? If you start feeling better, if you recover well, if nothing ever aches, right? After 3 to 4 weeks, then you can start adding a couple of sets here and there, right? So maybe on week 4, if you're feeling good, you can add 1 rep, 1 set in the first day. Then a couple of weeks later, if you're feeling good, or maybe 1 week later, if you're feeling good, you're not sore, your recovery is good, you can add another set, And that's the way you can structure that. If you're a beginner, you have no need for a deal, right? If you're more intermediate or advanced in the other side, you can first off monitor how much volume you have been doing. If you have been doing 5 to 6 sets a week, just start there and progress from there. If you have been doing like 20-25 sets a week and you're a maniac, start a little bit lower from that. Start to allow a little bit more recovery. maybe it's around 18 to 20 sets. And throughout the weeks, as you are, if you are intermediate or advanced, you know how your body handles volume, you know how you recover. And if you're not feeling soreness, you're progressing okay, you're feeling extremely fresh, you can start with adding one set here and there. The idea is to monitor our body and know how much we're doing, and every time we put in a new stimulus, or we add a set, or we add more volume, or we add more intensity, whatever the case might be, we have to monitor the response, right? So we add the set and we see if the next set we are more sore or less, we are unable to recover, or we are good. All of the things are really important, you know? So basically, don't think so much about the number of sets you're doing. Think about the progression within the week and the mesocycle. And if you're more intermediate to advanced, maybe you would want to deload your volume within 3 to 6 weeks, right? Depending, of course, on how you're feeling, because you need to, monitor your progress, right? I would suggest to keep an Excel sheet, keep a notepad, whatever the case might be, and you just write down the RP of the session, you write down how you felt, of course you write down the volumes, and of course if you can have a coach, that's much better, because the coach is going to do all of that for you, right? I hope it was helpful. I hope it was not too long or too cumbersome to understand. If you have any question, of course, leave it in the comment section below. I would appreciate that. And I would appreciate even more if you leave a like to the video, subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Thanks for watching.